As former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley has made that confirmation that she's running for president. How does she stack up against Trump in the Republican challenge?
Well, she worked for Trump. She echoed the same things. Probably 30-40% of Democrats. I'm sorry, Republicans will only vote for Trump. She might pick up 20% of Republicans. The others will drift towards Ron DeSantis and maybe some others. But look, she's a breath of fresh air. She's even though she's covered by all the bad things that Trump was doing, or people said he was doing. She says it's time for a change. That it's time for a generational change, and that politicians should be taking a mental test when they're 75 years old. I mean, I think that's ridiculous. I mean, age is a number. It's not about going in and getting some shrink to say you're okay. There's a lot of mad people in their 50s, for goodness sakes, who got us into Vietnam, Iraq, and other places. So, but she's saying that she's different. She comes from a different generation. It's time for a younger generation to solve America's problems. This is a good story. People used this story in the 1930s to try to pack the Supreme Court when Franklin Delano Roosevelt didn't like what they were doing. This is what younger generations always say about older generations. Time for them to go. Well, I tell you what. It may be time for them to go, but a lot of younger generation in America are mayors, they're governors, they sit in the legislatures, they sit in the Senate and the House. It's not quite as grim as they think it is. What she means is it's time for Joe Biden to go. It's time for ex-President Trump to go from the scene. These guys are in their late 70s and early 80s. She's saying that they just can't handle it anymore, so you got to turn it over to somebody else. It's a nice little yarn. The only trouble is that she's suggesting that she's the right person to do it. Can she do that? I don't know if she can. A lot of Republicans will never forgive her for taking down a Confederate flag on an occasion. On the other hand, a lot of independents might think that was a pretty good thing. But once again, she's up against the primaries. And the Republican primaries, Danica, are winner take all. So if Trump gets, 28% and she gets 27%, he's going to take all the votes. I mean, she has no chance there. So, and of course, the more people that run against Donald Trump, the better it is for him. I remember, and you do too, probably, when he was up against 16 candidates in 2016. And I thought, well, he isn't going to make it. Well, the trouble is, he picked them off one at a time. So he's pretty good. And you know what?
Yep.
He fights dirty.
Look, it's going to be very interesting, and it's certainly heating up already.